Good morning, everyone, and welcome to USPF News. I am Joanne Rose Baranian reporting. The Environment Department and the Philippine Coast Guard inspected Talisay Bay today to check on wastewater disposal of sea vessels. Jeremy DePaz now joins us live from Talisay Bay to tell us about this. Jeremy, what were the initial findings?
Joanne, the two agencies found violation in the environmental compliance of some sea vessels in Lawan and Talisay Bay area. Some owners and operators of cargo vessels also admitted that they are used to discharging wastewater into the bay. Floating trash and foul smell in areas normally occupied by the vessels prompted the Environment Department to check on their waste disposal process. In Lawaan, tons of trash can be seen floating right outside the fish port. Bigger vessels, meanwhile, are repairing and cleaning their facilities while at sea.
We are alarmed by such activities. Metal debris, other residue from that cargo ship, and it seems it was contaminating the Talisay Bay. We have to file an action. We cannot tolerate this kind of behavior.
Here with me is one of the captain and owner of the cargo vessel of Lawaan, Sir Rodel. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
Sir, how will you explain the situation that the DNR filed a complaint against your company for violating environmental compliance?
Actually, we are now coordinating with the DNR regarding this case. Although we admit that the wastewaters go straight into the bay, we are not required to have our own wastewater treatment facility, and it's been a long-standing practice among these types of vessels. Furthermore, installing septic tanks immediately would be difficult since we need to dry the dock first. But regardless, if there is compliance to be needed, then our company is willing to comply with everything.
Thank you for that, Sir Rodel.
Thank you.
The DNR admits also that current laws are outdated. Currently, vessels weighing at least 400 tons are required to have wastewater treatment facilities, while smaller boats only need designated disposal areas. The DNR is now working with the captains and the PCG on how disposal can be improved. The DNR conducted water sampling to check all the metal contents, oil grease, and feed coliforms in the affected areas. They expect the results to be released within the week. Joanne?
Republic Act 9275, known as the Philippine Clean Water Act. It aims to protect the country's water bodies from pollution from land-based sources, and it provides for a comprehensive and integrated strategy to prevent and minimize pollution. Anyone discharging wastewater into a water body will have to pay a wastewater charge. The company's vessel violates this law by discharging regulated water pollutants without the valid required discharge permit. And if they do not comply with the procedure of the government, then fines and penalties will be imposed on polluters. They will be fined for every day of violation where this law is required.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. That's Jeremy DePaz reporting live from Talisay City. Now, let's go to the topic of waste management. Humans are said to generate more than 2 billion tons of waste every year. The number is only getting higher. The Environment Department, in fact, released alarming data last week that showed that the Philippines generated 4 times the amount of waste in 2020 compared to 2019. So that's 362,000 metric tons, and just in the second half of the year. This morning, we are going to talk about best practices in waste management with Sheila May Salafian, our technical director at Cebu Waste Management Corporation. Sheila, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Okay, so you run the country's first ever engineered ISO certified sanitary landfill, and that's located inside the Clark's Special Economic Zone. I know that we're partner with 120 local government units across North and Central Visayas. So how are you the volumes or looking when you look at the trash or waste from industrial versus commercial versus residential?
I am running. Our theme is running the landfill in Cebu, which is a team of Cebu Waste Management. And of course, the main source of waste is household waste. And for us, we're serving right now around 135 LGUs already in Central Visayas and Northern Visayas, and it is about 80% municipal and more than 20% industrial waste, which we receive, which is more on industrial waste, which is similar to household waste but from private companies and industrial waste. The increase from 20% from 2019 to 2020 because we got most client, and we can't tell you exactly how, and compared to last year we have an increased waste where there is no question, and yeah, its development is very clear.
Okay, so certainly there was an increase in the amount of waste that you guys are handling. There was a study, Sheila, that ranked the Philippine number 17th worldwide in terms of global plastic waste generated from face masks, with an estimated 41 million units discarded every day. Is this accurate? What is your experience? And would you consider that hazardous or more hazardous than other kinds of waste?
I'm not sure if this number comes from the source, as again, there is an increase of waste, and of course there's an increase of waste from the protection equipment, so like face mask and similar. So face masks in itself are not hazardous waste. This is just mostly synthetical or another material. It is from self-made face masks, which we use to protect your face. So there's nothing hazardous on, and on this kind of waste, which is in the end of the day, it is very light. So increased drastically to worldwide use right now. It is in the Philippines alone. I'm not sure of that. We have an increase of waste which comes in our facility from treated hazard, treated medical waste. We are not receiving medical waste normally, but the infect and also the infectious waste and whatever it is goes to the treatment facilities in the Philippines, and we collect only the residues which are treated and there are no more harmful for the environment.
Okay, so what's the plan, Sheila?
Our plan is we try our best to work on this, to bring technology and capacity to the area that we can handle also the next 10 to 20 years. This amount of waste, it needs help from government, from everybody, and in all efforts on recycling. That's always what I'm saying. All efforts on recycling doesn't matter how good they are, it will not stop the amount of waste. The Philippines is trying that for 40 years and we still have residues, and they are Again, depending on the amount of people, and we have a lot of people in the Philippines in our area.
Okay, Sheila, you mentioned cycling. How much of a money making segment or department is the cycling part? If you could give us an idea, what is our recycling rate? How much are we able to recover from materials? I know that there's paper, aluminum, which is infinitely recyclable. I understand you've got plastic, perhaps bottles as well. So, what are those recycling rate for the Philippines? And is it a par with other countries, or are we higher or lower?
How I think right now we are lower in the Philippines. The recycling is a difficult task. All other materials, mostly even in the recycling, are need subsidy. If you save them in this way to get recycled, plastic waste in reality is 90% of plastic worldwide is not recycled in other country. We are teaching maybe 30 or 40% plastic waste recycling and a sample because the problem is the new material plastic is in the world much cheaper than recycled materials, so it's way very difficult to recycle. Coming to the Philippines, I think we know that we see the garbage trucks where guys collect glass, metal, and what they can find, but the overall recycling rate might be, I would be guessing, around 10%, which is a typical number for countries in Southeast Asia. Actually, it's not more or less than other countries, but that's the reality. So, recycling is not easy. Recycling has to be self-sustainable, and self-sustainable recycling is very difficult.
Okay, on that note, Sheila, thank you so much for sharing insight this morning. As certainly a big problem because we, as you mentioned, in 10 years, less than 10 years, we won't have the capacity to even contain the amount of trash that areas in Cebu will producing, So but we're looking to innovations from groups like yours to make this work. Do you know that to make the most out of the junk and to make sure that we can contain them? Sheila, thank you so much for joining us today and have a great week ahead.
Thank you very much, Miss Joanne.
Again, thank you for watching. This is Joanne Rose Baranyan, and this is USPF News.